everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be offering up a fairly reasonable length room tour. Without any further ado, here's a room tour by Stephen Dwayne Schnee, the CD Junkie. This right here is where we really start the tour. This is in the dining room. I still have some stuff to put up on the wall there, but this was put up. It's very, very important to me. You know, I'd really like to say that me and my friend Jim were co-editors here, but it's really all about Jim. This is more or less a tribute to him. Our friendship has always been important to me, but you know, he's one of those people that encouraged me, and we actually put together a fanzine. He was the guy that kept it going. He was the heart of it. You know, I contributed a lot. It was both of our musical vision. But these are actually all the issues that we put out. And it's a power pop related magazine. It was called Pop Sided, so it didn't cover just power pop. But these are the covers of the magazines we put out. We only put out 9 issues. Still very, very proud of them, but it's really all about Jim. And I've been very lucky in my life to know some great people. He is definitely one of them. And this was my little phrase there. I used to say some of my best friends are 3 minutes long. But we sort of adapted that into the pop-sided motto, and there it shall remain. But this was like the late 90s. And so that's really the first thing you see here in my hall of, or my Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I guess is what you want to call it. So here is the actual hall leading into that door there, which is where I have my CDs and stuff. But I wanted you to look at the hall first. We are going to start, let's start on the left here. This is a fixed poster. This is when the second album, Reach the Beach, came out. And this is not my original poster here, but it is a poster that I had back in, what was it, 83, I guess. Right next to that is A Flock of Seagulls Listen. It's a poster advertising their second album. And ironically enough, the import of Flock of Seagulls and the domestic Fix second album, both of these albums actually, I bought them on the same day at Music Market in Costa Mesa. It was the day of release for the Fix, and the import was probably a week before. It usually takes about a week to get to US stores, but those were on LP. And then finally over here is a Mental as Anything poster. Mental as Anything. This is advertising their very first single. That's super rare. I actually got that from an old manager of theirs back in the day. But Mental as Anything, that's one of my prized possessions. Now let's start on this wall here. This is where I have framed LPs, and I will explain them. Of course, more of the Monkees. Monkees were one of our favorite bands when we were kids. My parents used to sit us in front of the TV set during the Monkees, you know, when it first aired. So I'm talking, you know, I'm 3 years old, my brother's 4 years old, and we would watch the Monkees. And my folks said it was the only time that they knew that we would be quiet and keep out of trouble for 30 minutes a week. And then the Lambrettas, one of my favorite albums, came out in 1980, called Beat Boys in the Jet Age. Then Glenn Campbell. This is not the exact cover. You know, the album had come out in, I think, 68, something like that. And it's my favorite Christmas album of all time. This was kind of like a budget reissue. And as you can tell there, it's autographed by Glenn Campbell. That was a gift from my friend Jim, the same one that we did Pop Sided together. And that is, again, all these are pretty much prized possessions, but that's pretty amazing. Then we got the Undertones first album, one of my favorites. Learned about them through Trouser Press, and the album just blew me away. Over here, we got Split Enz, Frenzy. That's probably my favorite Split Enz album. I mean, I say that, and I've been saying that for years. But sometimes I start teetering a little bit, but then I go back and I go, but this is the American version, but I'll take any of them. I'll take the Australian version, the American version, and then the remixed version that came out on CD, I think 2006, I think it was. And then here, Badfinger, Wish You Were Here, my favorite album of all time. That is correct. Badfinger, Wish You Were Here is my favorite album of all time. Then we'll go over here. This is a poster for Split Enz Waiata. This is an American poster. And right there, that's the window to your soul. Let's go over here, Depeche Mode, and that's Construction Time Again. One of my favorite album covers. Actually, I want to find the album or the LP for A Broken Frame, which I love even more than this. But I just great seminal albums, fantastic music. And of course, The Cars, Candy-O, my favorite album by them. Such an amazing record from start to finish. Let's go down to 2020, debut album. One of the greatest power pop albums of all time. This and Paul Collins' Beat, the first album, when they were just known as The Beat. Those go back and forth as my favorite power pop album of all time. I do need to get a copy of that, The Beat, on vinyl, so I can buy frames and frame that. Squeeze, East Side Story, one of my favorite albums of all time, and definitely my favorite Squeeze album. The Last, an album that changed my life. You probably saw a video on my channel talking about that. And then we got Yachts, first album. Not autographed or anything, but it's pretty amazing, and it's such an important part of my life there. And I just got a few more album covers here I want to show you before I show you my CDs. This is autographed by 3 of the members. The only person that did not autograph it was Jimmy Marino, because he was gone by that time. He wasn't in the band when I saw them. But inside the album is a set list that's autographed by their later drummer, Brad Elvis. And then down below there, Spandau Ballet True, a wonderful album that's autographed when they were reunited, and I got all 5 original members. And then the final LP I'm going to show you right here is Neil Diamond, Jazz Singer, and that is autographed right there by Neil Diamond. That was a gift, VCLT from Nick Fantasy. I'm very, very grateful for that. Such a kind person. I know a lot of great people out there, and I appreciate you all. So let's go take a look at my CDs. Okay, a little bit messy here. I mean, look, I'm still in the process of moving in and stuff, but this here I call the Robert P. Wing. Wonderful friend of mine knows why I call it the Robert P. Wing. Robert P. is a friend. He's the guy who just... he created the Ski Lodge logo, and basically he was the guy who really took care of the shirts and the mugs and stuff. And again, I never forget the fact that I have great and wonderful friends, and I really could not do any of the stuff without any of them. So I appreciate all of them. And this is the Robert P. Wing. And on top, you'll see there's Christmas stuff. And you're thinking, oh, Schnee, you're making this during the holidays. Well, yeah, that's true. It is November right now, mid-November. But I'm doing this, these are going to be here all year round, because I'm a big fan of Christmas. This is painted by my Aunt Lori. And all these other little things were from like the 99-cent store or Dollar Tree or something, but they're nice little wooden signs, and there's DVDs. Anyway, here's the CDs, as you can see. I was talking to Grant from Grant's Rock Warehouse today, and I said, well, maybe if people are interested, I can go through my CDs and spotlight stuff. But I didn't think that anybody would really want to see it during my my room tour. But I'm just, showing you some of them. This is the first 2 racks. This isn't all, folks. There's more to come. People have asked me, how I file things. First off, you'll see here, this is in the F section. There's a Flash in the Pan, then I go to Fleetwood Mac, right? Well, I have some Christine McVie and Lindsey Buckingham solo albums, and I just file those with Fleetwood Mac. And some people also ask me when they see the pictures, they say, well, how come you stack them, some of them, this way and the rest of them this way? Well, if I have an artist that has a lot of albums, such as I have a lot of Fleetwood Mac and various Fleetwood Mac here, including the Buckingham Nicks with bonus tracks. But the reason I do this is because if you stack them this way, you can fit like 1 or 2 more CDs in this way. Because this amount of CDs, if I chipped them and did them the normal way, then they wouldn't all fit in there. And that's why I do that. So this is, like I said, this is the Robert P. wing of my room, my CD room. And let's take a look at more. Here is the next shelf. And there's only one right here. But that's not all. And of course on top, I've got more Christmas things. You can see, like, again, here's Ian McNabb, and I've got the Icicle Works mixed in as well. Mental's Anything, it goes up high, and I've got the solo stuff and all that stuff. Let me see here. This is 9 Below Zero and related. And I know people are going like 9 Below Zero, but there's also 999. People know the Knits. So many different things. NRBQ. I think I've got every NRBQ except the live stuff. I still don't collect live stuff. Gary Newman. Got all the Graham Parkers. Including the new one that's on Big Stir Records. And let's go over to the next shelf. This is the next shelf. There's actually a space in between this and the shelf that we just looked at, because I needed to make sure there was a space I can put a little table here and a lamp and have access to the plugs. And this here goes all the way down there. Now this is essentially S through Z. Over here it's M through R, and over there is A through the end of M. So let's go back and look there. I have more Michael Stanley than I've actually listened to. There's my Spandau Ballet and solo Tony Hadley. There's Sparks, Silver Sun, and up here it's more Christmas stuff, but this is like Christmas comic books, and things like that. Now I think I feature these elsewhere, and I still have to clean this up. I've been working on everything else, but these are box sets. Oh, that's not all. These are Elvis box sets. Yes, this is all Elvis. These are the FTD, Follow That Dream label. This is the 60 CD box, plus those classic boxes and some other. This is all Elvis here. More box sets. And this is too deep, so I have to alphabetize these, or at least get them close to being alphabetized. And even more box sets here. Again, I have to put those in some kind of order. That's too deep there. And then sort of like the larger box sets right down here. So let me pull back a little bit there. And then finally another smaller shelf. This one only holds about 400 or 500. These are like my favorite Christmas CDs. These are all alphabetized, by artist. And I'll be doing a Christmas video pretty soon. And there's some like, Christmas comps and stuff. Here's Midnight Syndicate. And I did a video on them recently, and they make that wonderful Halloween music. And then you get into like various artists, and I got to put more up there. Actually, believe it or not, these, oh yeah, that's right, this shelf here, this is just some of the stuff that I wrote liner notes for. These are other ones that I wrote liner notes for. And then down here, we've got the 80s, Just Can't Get Enough, and then the Rhino Have a Nice Day super hits of the 70s. Oh, by the way, when I talk about these being my favorite Christmas CDs, that is true. I mean, I've probably got at least another 100 CDs, but I put my favorites, that I always go to. So if anybody wants to come over and play some Christmas music, they just go to this shelf here, and these are my absolute favorites. Most of them are probably Real Gone music. All of this is filled with Ski Lodge, and I have to get a new shelf so I can alphabetize my Ski Lodge. It's not all of this is going to fit on the shelf, so I have to pick my favorites and either store the rest or sell the rest. But if you listen to Ski Lodge on Tuesday nights on my channel, all the music that I play is contained in these boxes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Please, if you want me to go through certain sections and talk about certain things that I have up on my shelf, that's perfectly fine. I just didn't want to bore too many people. But I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, to ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.